because they're underhanded. They'll stop at nothing. They don't care about violating the law. They installed all of their people in the right place. We used to do that too in the mob. Put our people in the right place in the union so that we can control them. Get our people close to government officials so we can control them. This is exactly a mafia democracy. This is what I'm talking about.
I walk in redemption.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. And as always, my friends, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to my God for that. And I always will. That's just the way it is because he deserves it all. Interesting topic today. You know, I know you want to hear mob stories, mafia stories. Well, I'm going to give you a good one today, and one that's current. Because I've told people in the past, I'm not going to go back and make up stories. I've given you many, probably out of the 500 videos that I have up here, 400 and some odd were mob-related stories, my own experiences, and then I talked about others in that life. We get it, and I know you like to hear it, and I get it. That's how we built the platform in a large degree. But we also have kind of drifted off into other things. I did reviews of movies and so on and so forth, and we've had, I think, a good time. We've built the channel, and I thank all of you for really being my followers. I really mean that. But today I'm going to give you a real mafia story, and I want you to pay attention. It's an important one. First thing I want you to do is if you go on Google and you get the definition of mafia, I'm going to read it to you, and then you can go follow up on your own. It'll probably be posted here because my editors do a great job. But let me read, according to Google, the definition of mafia. There's actually three definitions. First one, an organized international body of criminals operating originally in Sicily and now especially in Italy and the U.S., and having a complex and ruthless behavioral code. That's the tried and true definition that we all believe to be the truth, the real one. The mafia originated in Italy, in Sicily. We know the story, don't need to go into all of that now. And is it an accurate description? I would say yes, it is. You know, they operate in Sicily, they operate throughout Italy, they operate here in the United States. We get it. And in other countries too, Australia, other countries also. But that, I think, is a good definition. But they go on to give another definition. And let me tell you what that is. It's any organized group using extortion and other criminal methods. So you don't have to be Italian. You don't have to be the Italian mob to be named mafia. You can be another criminal group that uses extortion, to earn money and to conduct its business. So you don't have to be Italian. That's another definition that Google provides. But now I want you to pay attention to this one. It's a closed group of people in a particular field, they don't mention the field, having a controlling influence. Let me read that again. A closed group of people in a particular field having a controlling influence. Now, when you read that, what does that remind you of right away? Think about it. I'm telling you right away what it reminds me of, and I wrote a book about it. It reminds me of the government. Government. According to Google, the government can be a mafia. Now, I didn't look up that definition when I wrote this book, and I'm not here to plug the book. It's there all the time. I want you to see it, and obviously you want to read about it, or you want to read it rather, go and buy it, of course, because the information in there is accurate. Right down the middle. We're talking about the government. We're not talking about Democrat, Republican. We're talking about the operation of the government here in the United States. Now, I want to get into it. I want to read you a couple of things so that you understand where I'm coming from. There is no bigger mafia than exists in the United States government. That's it. Plain and simple. It's accurate. It's true. It's real. It's right in line with the definition that Google gives us of what a mafia is. I'm going to read it one more time so that you get it. And think about it. A closed group of people in a particular field, the government, having a controlling influence. Well, they have a lot of control, a lot of influence, don't they? Over all of our lives, not only in this country, but in other countries. The entire world, they have influence. That's a mafia, according to Google. Now I want to get into it a little bit deeper. We all know about what the mafia on the street was. We got it. You know, we understand what the government labeled us to be, and in many cases it was accurate. Sometimes it's not. They get a little bit broad in their definition, and of course, at times they embellish things with us. We get it. But, you know, I was part of it for 20 years. I was a recruit, a soldier, a capo, People say, Michael, you weren't a boss. I never said I was a boss. However, Capo regime is a street boss by definition. I did control a number of men. I was a street boss, so that's it. Other people say boss, not me. I was a Capo regime. That's the deal. And sometimes the government embellishes what the mafia really did and what it was all about. But basically, we've done, much content on it. So you get it, and you're all educated people. You've seen the movies, you've seen television series, you read the newspaper, you read the headline, you get it. But let me tell you what the mafia is really all about.
Over the past 25 years, I've had the chance to meet personally with thousands of people, speak to millions, between my in-person appearances and online. And the one consistent thing over the years, it's funny, when I open it up for a Q&A, you would think that people would ask me mob questions. I get a couple of those, but really it's all personal. Just, Michael, how did you overcome the challenges you were in? How did you do all that time in solitary? How did your wife relate to you, your kids when you got back home? How did it interfere or how did it help your business? Just so many things that have been asked, and I've been able to mentor to these people over the years. Over the past 2 or 3 years, it's become a lot more intense. People are coming to me more and more and more with challenges and obstacles in their life that they're trying to overcome. And most often, people want to be part of a community. They want to be part of a family. They look back, Michael, how was it when you had this family, around you of like-minded people? And truthfully, that's what I miss about my former life. It's not all the other stuff, but it's just the camaraderie we had with the guys, and it's just so powerful. And so I am, really motivated now to create this community, this family where like-minded people can get together. They can share some of their experiences. They can get advice. They can get mentorship from people that have been there, done that have overcome challenges and obstacles, that, have a way to survive and really prosper in their lives. And we're creating that platform. And this platform, people, it's not me being there in name only. I want to get down with the people. I enjoy that. I'm a people person. I love giving advice. So we're going to have, Zoom calls on a regular basis. We've created programs that we're going to be able to share with you. We're going to have meetings where we all get together and enjoy some Franzese Wine maybe, and sit down and have some slices pizza or whatever we'll do, and really get together and get down with one another and be a benefit to one another. There's nothing like community and family. There's nothing like it. If that's something of interest in you, if you want a part of me that you'll really get, and the team that I've created that I know you're going to enjoy, I think you're going to want to be part of it. And I know it's going to benefit you. There's no question about that. It will be a benefit. And we've made this in such a way that anybody can be involved in it, because that's what we want. We don't want, the elite persons out there, that maybe don't think they need something. We want everybody, and we don't exclude anybody. So, and I think when you jump on this link, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about.
It's about power, and it's about control, and it's about wealth. Power, control, wealth. That's it. Now, if that doesn't describe what our government is, let me get into it a little bit further. And I want to talk specifically right now about the Democratic Party. And that's it. And if you find fault with this, let me know. This isn't about Trump. Let's make believe Trump doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. There is no Trump. Never even heard his name. He doesn't exist in American politics. Let's just talk about the Democratic Party. You want to talk about mafia. You want to talk about a group having control. These are facts. And if you say that's not factual, hold me to it, show me, dispute me, write it in a comment, do whatever you need to do. But here it is. Before you cast your vote, coming this November 5th, it's less than 2 weeks away, and I want you to pay attention to this. Before you cast your vote, here are some facts that you should be aware of. This is about the Democratic Mafia Party. Listen to this. The governor of Michigan used to work for George Soros. Who's the governor of Michigan? Think about it. California Governor Gavin Newsom is Nancy Pelosi's nephew. Just bear me out. Keep coming with me. Adam Schiff's sister is married to one of George Soros' sons. Who's George Soros? He hates the United States. He wants to turn the United States on its head. He put all of these progressives in office. He votes strictly Democrat. He supports strictly the Democratic Party. And he hates the United States. He said it. He hates us. John Kerry, we know who he is. Forget that guy. His daughter is married to a mullah's son in Iran. His daughter is married to a mullah's son in Iran. Understand the connection that I'm making here. These are all facts. I'm not making this up. ABC News executive producer Ian Cameron is married to Susan Rice, Obama's former national security advisor. You want to see the deep state? You want to see the mafia? You want to see how this all pulls together? You want to understand why certain things have happened in this country over the past several years? Keep listening. CBS President David Rhodes is the brother of Ben Rhodes, Obama's Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategic Communications. So ABC News and CBS News both have people at the high level that were connected to Obama and the Democratic Party. ABC News correspondent Claire Shipman is married to Jay Carney, who is the former Obama White House press secretary. Look at the connection. Look at the mainstream media. Look at the deep state that we're talking about. This is mafia. This is all about control. Got to give them credit. They've done it right. ABC News and Univision reporter Matthew Jaffe is married to Katie Hogan, who is Obama's former deputy press secretary. Look at the connection here. Look at how it's all coming together. ABC President Ben Sherwood is the brother of Elizabeth Sherwood, Obama's former special advisor. Who do you think's calling the shots here? You know darn well Biden wasn't calling the shots. You know darn well Kamala Harris isn't calling the shots. And you know what I heard today? Somebody said it's okay. We hate Trump so much, we don't want him to be president. And we know Kamala Harris is incompetent, and we know she's not in control. This was a Democrat saying this, but it's okay because she'll send representatives. Obama's really pulling the strings. You know, they'll fix it. If they have to go meet with Putin or they have to go meet with China or Iran, they'll send somebody in her place. They're admitting she's a puppet. And they're admitting that they know it, but they hate Trump so much, a guy that's capable, that they'll vote for her anyway. These are the people that we have. Understand, CBS, ABC, all in the pocket of the Democrats and George Soros. CNN, Vice President Virginia Mosley is married to Tom Nides, former Hillary Clinton's deputy secretary. Why are they hiring all Democrats? Why are they hiring all people that are related to the Democrats and none to the Republicans? Think about it. Mafia? You bet. All about power and control. They've been installing these people. They've been controlling the media. This is what it's all about. Let's keep going. This is what you call a stacked deck. If you had a hunch the news media was somehow rigged and you couldn't put your finger on it, this might help you solve the puzzle. Now you know why no one is investigated. They all have their hands in the cookie jar. You might remember James Comey, remember? Head of the FBI, who investigated the Clinton email scandal and the Clinton Foundation and made the final decision to not recommend prosecution by the DOJ. Well, listen to this. It turns out that Clinton Foundation was audited by the law firm DLA Piper. One of the executives there was in charge of the Clinton Foundation audit. Who was it? Peter Comey, James Comey's brother. Why wasn't she investigated to the full? Why wasn't she indicted? She should have been indicted. She obstructed justice. We know that. We know that there was bribes coming into the Clinton Foundation, but James Comey's brother was in charge of the investigation. This is mafia, people. Take my word for it. And it only gets worse. It gets worse. This family tree will make your head spin. The swamp is deep. And yeah, I wrote this all out. The swamp is very deep. And this was sent to me, and I just re-edited some of the things so that I can make it simpler for you to understand. All right, but this is what you got here. This is the real mafia. It's why I wrote the book. I saw this years ago, people. You got to give the Democrats smart. They did the right thing. They weren't as underhanded as the Republicans. And I'm not saying Republicans are lily white. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they don't match up with the Democrats' strategy because they're underhanded. They'll stop at nothing. They don't care about violating the law. They installed all of their people in the right place. We used to do that too in the mob. Put our people in the right place in the union so that we can control them. Get our people close to government officials so we can control them. This is exactly a mafia democracy. This is what I'm talking about. Listen to this. Dominion. Remember Dominion? There was controversy about them. They're the voting machine provider. They serve 40% of the U.S. market. It's in 30 states. The state of Texas rejected the machines, and they did that for a reason. Admiral Peter Neffinger is on Biden's transition team. Neffinger was president of the board of Smartmatic. Watch the succession here. Smartmatic, another voting machine supplier, entered into an agreement with Dominion in 2009. Peter Neffinger, he was on Biden's transition team. He's part of Smartmatic, and now Smartmatic enters into an agreement with Dominion in 2009. Smartmatic counted votes in Venezuela. Smartmatic is connected to the Philippine voter fraud. Remember that whole incident? Voter fraud in the Philippines. Dominion, Smartmatic. Smartmatic is run by Lord Mark Malloch Brown, who works for George Soros. Here we have Soros again, pulling the strings in the background, putting things into place. This is mafia stuff, without a doubt. He and Brown are lifelong friends. George Soros and the guy who operates Smartmatic, Mark Malloch Brown, are lifelong friends. Brown chairs the board of a number of nonprofit board foundations, including the Open Society Foundation. Brown chairs the Center for Global Development. Open Society, of course, is owned by who? George Soros. Look at the connection here. Look at the connection with the media. Look at the connection now with these voting machines where we had controversy. Remember Trump complaining, people complaining in Arizona that the Dominion, there was something wrong there? Who controls this? Listen closely. Smartmatic partnered with DLA Piper Global. Douglas C. Emhoff, who is that? The husband of Kamala Harris, works at DLA Piper Global. So now you got a connection to Kamala Harris with the voting machines. Douglas C. Emhoff, of course, Kamala Harris's husband. Guess who owns Dominion? Blum Capital Partners. Guess who is on the board for the company? Richard Blum. Guess who Richard Blum is? Dianne Feinstein's husband. Do you see how this all ties together to the Democrats, all the progressives? You have people in government in the Democratic Party that were controlling the outcome of Hillary Clinton and other things. And now you have the voting machines, Dominion, that services 40% of the country, is all tied up with the Democrats. And we have controversy about all of these things. Richard Blum is Dianne Feinstein's husband. Nancy Pelosi's husband is also a major investor in the company. Nancy Pelosi, she despises Donald Trump, despises him. Her husband is on the board, controlling Dominion. An aide to Nancy Pelosi, Nadim El-Shami, was hired by Dominion Voting Systems. Well, it was an aide to Nancy Pelosi. They're not hiring Republicans. They're not hiring people close to Trump. They're hiring all Democrats. This is mafia stuff. It's all about control. And look at the control that they are having now. And it goes on and on. Dominion Voting System is listed on the Clinton Foundation website. Dominion Voting is listed as a $25,000 to $50,000 donor to the Clinton Foundation in 2014 by the Washington Post. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You must remember the Feinstein, Kavanaugh, Soros connections to understand this next information. Deborah Katz, who is Christine Ford's lawyer, remember? She was the one that made the allegations against Kaufman. Remember that. She worked for George Soros at the Open Society Foundation. Her lawyer, Christine Ford's lawyer, the one that made the whole stink and falsely accused Kavanaugh, okay, her lawyer worked for George Soros. Kamala Harris, listen to this, did not prosecute One West Bank for their fraud when she had the authority to do so, and Soros owned One West Bank. Do you see how this is all tying together? I can go on and on and on. But now you know why a woman who placed seventh, she placed seventh in her own state when running for vice president, is now the vice president and now the Democrats' nominee for president after overthrowing Joe Biden. But these same people who are all corrupt will tell you Trump is the problem. He's the liar, he's the felon, and that he's a threat to democracy. And mean tweets have upset you. You're worried about mean tweets, or you worry about the mafia controlling the country. People, I'm telling you right now, the mafia is controlling the country. Look at these connections. They're connected wholly to the Dominion voting machines that Trump and others were complaining, okay, were fraudulent. And look who controls them. Everyone is a Democrat. Everyone connected to Soros. Look at this. Look at the news media that will never, ever, ever want to give anything positive about Trump and never cover anything negative about the Democrats. They're controlled by the Democrats. This is the mafia. I am telling you, The mafia is all about power and control. They never want to lose power and they never want to lose control. And money? Nancy Pelosi, worth $500 million. Joe Biden, $27 million came in from when he was peddling his vice presidency through his son and his brother. They want money and they want power. Now, if you can point the finger at the Republicans for this, please do so and let me know. Because I've looked. I can't uncover it like this. They don't control things like this. They absolutely don't. This is the mafia at work. Now, I want to ask you something. We got to have a very open and honest discussion because people, look, I'm going to tell you this, like it or not. I'm 73 years old. This election coming up in less than 2 weeks is the most important critical election of my lifetime. There's no doubt about it. Because I see the mafia democracy at work. I've seen how they've been working for the past couple of years, this administration, and even before with Obama. I saw how it was interrupted with Trump. Say what you want. But Trump gave us 4 good years as president. We had no wars. We had a good economy. We had a fairly closed border because he was putting it into play. He was building the wall. He was doing all these things. Gas prices were low. We had a good 4 years because he cared about the people. He don't need anything else. He's a multi-billionaire. And he's not beholden to these people, and they hate him for it. Do you not get this? This Trump derangement syndrome is because they cannot control Trump. They can control Harris. They can control Biden. Obama's controlled to a degree. George Soros is pulling these strings. This is the mafia at work. Don't let anybody tell you anything differently. And if you read the book, you'll see it in great detail. And yes, I do point out some Republicans here who have gone off the deep end also. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they don't have the control that the Democrats have. The only people that can disrupt that is we the people at the voting booths, if they're fair. Now, I'm concerned. I think Dominion is back at play. I mean, they used it effectively during COVID. They had every excuse in the book not to make people go to the voting booths and to do all of these write-ins and to do it on all this kind of stuff. I'm hoping they can't do it now because I think if we have a fair and legitimate election, people realize Kamala Harris is not qualified and she won't be the real president and she's not competent enough to take care of our needs and protect us and our families and our country. She's not qualified. She's not qualified to run the biggest economy in the world. She's not qualified to protect our borders. She doesn't want to protect our borders. Forget Trump. Let's talk about her. Now, I got to ask you this. Is trust important to you? Trust is important to me. And trust is important, I'm sure, to most of you. It's important in your home. It's important in your marriage. It's important in your relationship with your significant others. It's important to a degree with your children who go off the deep end. Sometimes we get it, they're kids. But when they get older as adults, the trust is important. It's important with your business partner. It's important with your doctor. It's important with your lawyer. It's important. Trust is important. We have an election coming up. Can you trust the Democratic Party to deliver on what needs you have for them to deliver on? Let's talk about this for a minute. Let's review this. Let's look at the Biden-Harris trust issue. And let's go one by one. If I'm wrong, call me on it. And again, put aside your hatred for Trump for the moment. He doesn't exist. We don't even know who the Republican candidate is at this point. Let's put that aside for a minute. Okay, we'll get back to that. Number one, remember during COVID, we have a short memory. Remember during the lockdowns? Remember how they lied to us? Do you remember that? Do you remember how Fauci lied to us about the vaccination? Do you remember how he lied to us about masks? Do you remember how he lied to us about lockdowns? It's all coming out. Do you remember how he lied to us? Lied to us about the Wuhan virus being the origin of this COVID virus? He lied to us about everything. Has anything happened to him, by the way? No. He was in front of the camera all the time. He made several $100,000, I think millions of dollars. Nothing happened to him. For those people that couldn't visit their loved ones when they were dying in the hospital and eventually died, they're forgotten. We don't talk about it anymore. They're forgotten, right? No big deal because it's a Democrat. Because who controls everything right now? The Democrats. They control the Department of Justice. They control the media. I just showed you that. This is the mafia. I'm going to keep telling you, this is how the mafia operates. And according to Google, I'm right on point with that. I'll read it again. A closed group of people in a particular field having a controlling influence. Closed group of people, I'm just naming them. A particular field, the government, controlling influence, yes, and that's all they want. That's it. Fauci got away with everything. Remember Biden, how he lied to us? This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. He straight out lied. Straight out lied. How many people are suffering the after effects of that vaccination? They're trying to keep that secret. But there are people that are suffering, young people especially, that didn't need to be vaccinated. But they forced it on us because they wanted to take our rights away. And nobody's talking about it now. This is how they controlled us, locking us down, ordering us to get vaccinations, telling us we can't go back to work if we don't get vaccinated. Who the hell are they to tell us that? Who? We allowed it to happen, and now we forgot about it. This was the Biden-Harris administration. Let's keep moving. The Hunter laptop. Remember that? Let me refresh your memory. The New York Post ran the story about the Hunter laptop about 3 or 4 weeks prior to the election between Biden and Trump. Biden got up there after knowing that it was authenticated by the FBI. It was authenticated. He got up there and he lied during a debate and said it was Russian disinformation. He then, the Democratic Party, him and his cohorts, got 51 intelligence people to lie about the laptop, saying it was Russian disinformation. They knew it was authenticated by the FBI. They lied to you because they knew had that laptop been authenticated and made public like it should have been, they knew it would have hurt Biden's chances at the voting booth. What else did they do? The FBI, controlled by the Democrats, went to social media and said, this is Russian disinformation. Don't run the story about the laptop. They lied to you, straight out lied to you. And then what happened? Well, when they got caught, when they tried to get a sweetheart deal for Hunter Biden and the judge rejected it and made this thing blow up, what happened now? Well, now they went after Hunter Biden, and what's the main piece of evidence against him? The laptop. With all that information that's so disparaging to Joe Biden and to Hunter Biden, everything is on that laptop. It shows that Joe Biden was peddling his vice presidency for money. He's treasonous. He sold us out 100%. The laptop is the major piece of evidence against Hunter Biden. Shows they lied to you. How do you trust these people? How do you trust them again? Isn't trust important? Why do you believe anything that they're telling you now when they consistently lied to you? Let's keep going. Biden and Harris and Mayorkas. Remember, up until the first 3 years in office, they told you the border was secure. Biden said it, Mayorkas said it, and Harris said it. They lied to you. The border was never secured. We have almost 20 million illegal migrants in this country in the last 3 years. Many of them criminals. Many of them that are causing havoc in certain cities. Some of them have murdered American citizens. And we're paying them. Taxpayer money is paying them. They lied to you. Biden administration and Harris, Biden and Harris, are flying these people in from other countries in the middle of the night. They're doing it. It's been exposed. Nobody's talking about it because the mainstream mafia media that's controlled by Soros and the Democratic Party don't want to report it to you. They're lying to you. Mistrust. How can you trust these people? Now, all of a sudden, when they saw that people really are concerned about the border because there is crime increasing in their neighborhoods, because their tax dollars are being paid to support these illegal migrants, because they're trying to get these illegal migrants to vote, even though they didn't do anything for the United States. They only came here and took from us the illegal migrants. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. We're supporting them all. They're taking our jobs. They're taking our health care. They're taking our hotels and apartments. It's the truth. Then they said, oh, we got to put a bill together. And when the bill, which was absolute garbage and really didn't solve anything, they wanted to blame Trump now. They only made that bill so they can blame Trump because they knew it would never pass. They lied to you again. Mistrust, mistrust, mistrust. How could you trust them with another 4 years? How? Let's keep going. Trump was being labeled a racist. They have no proof of that. None whatsoever. They just keep calling him a racist. Why? Isn't it curious now that he's getting a bigger percentage of the black vote than anybody ever had as a Republican? Isn't that curious? Isn't it curious now that he's getting a bigger percentage of the Latino vote than anybody has ever had before? What did the Democrats do for blacks? Nothing. They want to put them on welfare so that they're dependent on them. They want to treat them like second-class citizens. They want them to believe that they're not capable of surviving in America like every other white person can. That's what they want the blacks to believe. So they want to give them handouts just to get their votes. And then after that, they do nothing. They're doing nothing in Chicago when black-on-black crime is running rampant. They're doing nothing to help because they want those neighborhoods to be poor. They want them to feed on one another, and they want to drill it into their head that only the Democrats are doing anything for them. They do nothing for them. The blacks are getting wide. I see my black brothers, and yeah, I call them my black brothers. I did a lot of time with them. We got along well. When my Italian friends would tell me, hey, how come you don't stay with us? We see you with the black guys. Because we do time together. We play softball when I'm in the yard. We talk. We have fun. I don't want to hear war stories. I told them straight out. I have a lot of black friends. So don't give me that racist stuff with me. It's garbage. Trump is not a racist. They keep trying to put that in your head because they're liars. Trust. You can't trust someone that continues to lie to you. Let's go to Obama. Do you know that you got to see what Candace Owens did on Obama? Do you know Obama was brought up by his white mother? His white mother. He didn't really know his father. He went to the best schools. When he went and it says in his own material, when he was trying to sell a book, his press agent said that he was born in Kenya. His press agent said that. Go to Candace Owens. She puts it all out there. She shows you the document. Says he was born in Kenya and then lived 10 years in Indonesia until he was 10 years old, and then came to Hawaii when he was 10 years old and lived with his white, wealthy grandparents and went to a private school. He never hung with the brothers. He's using the black thing now when he goes out and tells black men, he insults them. Oh, you don't want a black woman as president. He's insulting them, and they know it. They're wise to it. Obama's a fraud too. He's an absolute fraud. He's a great orator, no doubt about it, but he's a fraud. He's using the black card, and it's not working. Our black brothers are getting wise to this, and our black sisters too. They're getting wise to it. Same with Kamala Harris. She was Indian, all of a sudden she's black again. I'm not afraid to say it. It's the truth. It's the truth. She should be ashamed of herself because she can't run on her policies. She can't run on her intelligence. She can't run on an agenda because her agenda, her past 3 years, has been horrible. How do you trust these people again? Let's go to Biden. For 3.5 years. Oh, Biden is in total control of it. He's the best. He's terrific. He's wonderful. Don't say that he's too old. Don't say that he's got dementia. They supported him left and right. Everybody. Pelosi, he's the greatest person in the room. Oh, but everybody supported him until he crashed and burned on the debate. Harris, too. I was always the last person in the room, and I watched Biden. He was always terrific, always in control of his information, always in command, till he crashed and burned, and they couldn't cover it up anymore. So what do they do at that point? Boom. Stab him in the back. Pelosi stabbed him in the back. Obama stabbed him in the back. Forced him to drop out of the race. And they installed Harris. She didn't get 1 vote. They wouldn't give a primary. She was their chosen choice because she is a puppet. Soros, Obama, Pelosi, they can control her. That's what it's all about. This is mafia. These are mafia tactics. This is the mafia at work. They made us look like choir boys compared to what they're doing. And that's the truth. That's the real mafia people in the government, the Democratic Progressive Party. That's it. That's the truth. Everything I'm handing you here is factual. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, let's talk about all the reversal on her policies that Harris has. She was one way, and then she reversed it. Her values haven't changed, but all her policies are changing because every one of her values, okay, that were demonstrated by her policies were garbage. Every single one of them. She wasn't for the people, not at all. She wasn't for the people. So now she tries to explain her values haven't changed, but all her policies have. It's so ridiculous. How do you trust this woman? How do you trust her? Come on. Think about it. Let's go to women's rights. I got to tell you this. I'm going to get into this. It's a subject of people like, let's talk about abortion. You know, the Democrats get up there and they want to use this against Donald Trump. They want to use it, And Donald Trump said specifically, I want to bring it back to the states. Let every state decide. The majority of people in that state will decide whether they want abortion or not. Donald Trump has stated, in the case of the mother's life might be in its stake, or a rape, or a minor involved, he said, I understand that. I understand that. He makes allowances for abortion in that regard. They're lying about it. Harris is lying about it. You know what they keep drumming out there? They keep saying this is a woman's health issue. I have 7 kids. I have 7 grandchildren. It was never a woman's health issue, praise God, with any of my daughters or my daughter-in-laws. It was never a woman's health issue. Why do they keep saying it's a woman's health issue? When it is a woman's health issue, we understand that. Trump understands that. Conservative Republicans understand that. I understand it. If there was a choice I had to make, God forbid, between one of my daughters and the baby, the fetus, I would probably choose my daughter. I would choose my daughter. I have to say it. I would choose my wife. I mean, come on, we get that. We're human beings. We understand. If, God forbid, my daughter was raped, I understand that. And she don't want to have the baby. I get it. And so does Trump. And that's what he said. But other than that, where is it a woman's health issue? That's a lie. And they're saying a woman needs to have control of her own body. That baby is not her body. It's not her body. She's carrying the baby because that's the way God intended it to be. Not only in human life, but in animal life. That's not her body. That's not having control over her body. That's having control over the fetus, the baby inside of her. Let the baby come out. Give it up for adoption if you don't want the child. There's plenty of people who want to adopt a child. But they keep using that. They keep throwing that up there. But all Trump is saying is, okay, send it back to the states and let the states do it, because there are a lot of people that don't agree with abortion. A lot of people don't agree with it. So we are a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. We're a democratic nation in that regard. Let people decide. That's what we vote for. That's what the majority is all about. That's what Trump is saying. But they keep on using that. They're going to use that to get the woman's vote. That's all they got. That's all they have. So they'll continue to pound it away. However, let's go to the contradiction. Trans women in women's sports. They're silent. We don't hear anything about that. I don't hear Harris complaining about that. I don't hear Biden complaining about that. Why not? Because they're hypocrites. They don't care about the women. They care about the vote. Wherever they think the vote is, that's where they go. They don't care. They can't be trusted. They're mafia. I'll read it again. Closed group of people in a particular field having a controlling influence. This is the mafia. A controlling influence. This is the mafia at work. I'm spelling it out for you. This is it. Why are they not against having trans women or trans men? I don't know what it is. I don't even know what the term is in women's sports. They're all pro-women, aren't they? Well, what happened here? Because they don't want to turn off their progressive base. That's why. They're hypocrites and phonies. Do you not get it? This is the mafia at work. This is it. You want to talk about mafia? This is it. You want to read a little more? Go to the book. Go to the book. I lay it all out. It's all in there. This is the mafia at work. You can't trust them. Why are you going to give them another opportunity to pull the wool over your eyes? Why are you going to give them another opportunity, to lie to you? They proved themselves. They're not trustworthy. Trust is everything. If I'm lying to you now, don't ever watch another video of mine because you can't trust me. And I'm telling you straight out. But everything I'm telling you, I believe is factual. Everything I told you about the media being controlled, it's factual. Look it up. Everything I'm telling you about Dominion and the people that are controlling Dominion, look it up. It's factual. If I'm lying to you, prove it to me and don't ever watch me again because I can't be trusted. Now, here's the bottom line. In less than 2 weeks, and you know what? I'm not going to be going on and on and on. After the election, it is what it is, and then all I'm going to do is prepare myself. If Kamala gets elected, God forbid, I got to prepare myself, my family. I'm going to do things a little bit differently, quite honestly, to prepare myself for the havoc they're going to wreak on all of us. And I'll tell you this, I'm honest. The one issue that I had with Trump, I had a couple issues with Trump. One issue, he absolutely cannot increase this national debt. It's going to kill us. It's going to destroy my grandchildren at some point. They got to find a way to stop this. They have to. He needs to go to every government agency where there is waste, and he needs to kill the agency or get it to operate properly. If you saw the amount of money that is wasted by our government, by our federal government, and even our state. California governor destroyed California, destroyed the economy. He's terrible. He doesn't know how to manage a candy store. We had a huge surplus. He turned it into a huge deficit in a matter of 2 or 3 years. They don't know how to run anything. Trump at least is a business guy, but Trump, you can't do it again. You got to figure out a way to put this country on track so that our debt isn't going out of its mind. You have to do it, Donald. And you got to stop with the damaging tweets. You got to stop. Get to work. And I want to tell you this, people. Everybody's afraid, a couple of things, that Donald Trump is going to go after his political enemies. Like they've gone after him. I'm going to tell you this. There's people that should be held accountable. Biden is too darn old. His own Justice Department, remember the special counsel said he did commit a crime with the classified documents, but he's too old and no jury is going to convict him. So he did commit the crime, according to his own special counsel. And I'm telling you this, Biden is treasonous. He's treasonous, all the money that he got. He's lied and lied and lied. It's factual, all the lies. And if they did go after him, he deserves it. He should be held accountable. But he's too old. Leave him alone, Donald. Let him go off into the sunset. Leave him alone. Let him enjoy whatever years he has left after he's out of his presidency. Leave him alone, because you know what? His legacy is going to be defined in history at some point in time. No question about it. The worst administration in my lifetime, without a doubt. Kamala Harris, you don't have to go after her. Let her just go away. But if you know people that did wrong in government, we need to stop them. We need to show them that they can't get away with it. There isn't a two-tier system of justice in this country. So you need to get your Justice Department and weed all of these people out. Weed them all out, Donald. That I'm telling you, that you need to do. And if they're afraid of that, they darn well should be. Because that's part of what you need to do to clean up the nonsense and the garbage that this country has become at that level, at the government level. We need to stop it. So here's the deal. The line has never been more clear, drawn in the sand for this election. This is it. You want open borders? You vote for Kamala Harris. Vote for her. If this is what you want, vote for her. You want crime in the streets? Vote for her, because you're going to get more. They're soft on crime. She's proved it. Look at her record. Okay, she's flip-flopping now, but look at her record. She's soft on crime. You want crime in the streets? You want more migrants in here taking over your neighborhoods? Vote for Kamala Harris. If you want it stopped, you vote for Trump. If you want the border closed, vote for Trump. And they talk about Trump. Trump says, I'm going to deport all the illegal migrants. You know what administration had the most deportations? Barack Obama. How come nobody was screaming about that then? And I'm not saying he did anything wrong. Barack Obama had the most deportations, not Trump. Barack Obama. Remember when they said Trump had kids in cages? And then they found out it wasn't Trump? It was Barack Obama. Remember that? You know who had drones flying around killing people? It was Barack Obama. It wasn't Trump. It was Barack Obama. But you didn't hear that from the Democratic-controlled, George Soros-controlled mainstream media. They cover all that up. You cannot trust the mafia. And this is the mafia controlling this country now. You want closed borders? You vote for Trump. You want the illegal migrants to be under control? And please don't try to hit me with, listen, yes, my ancestry, they migrated to this country. They did it legally. They did it the right way. And I am not against legal immigration at all. And I think it's incumbent on Congress, who have just let this go, get together and figure it out and give us a good legal immigration system. That's what we pay you for. Do your job. You want inflation to go down? Trump is a businessman. He'll do it like he did it before. You want gas prices to go down? Energy. It's the secret to everything. Energy. What does Iran have money for? They got natural gas. They got oil. He stopped all the production here, Biden did, and the Democrats. Why? You want gas prices to go down? Let Trump drill, drill, drill. What does he say? Drill, baby, drill, baby, drill, baby. Let him do it. You'll see how prices will go down. You'll see how the economy will prosper. Let him do it. So many of you know I've been in the wine business now for just over 2 years, and I'm happy to report that we've been very successful. People are accepting our wine, not only all over the United States, but all over the world. We're getting, people that want to have our wine in various countries, very rewarding. And our wines are from Armenia, the ancient vineyards, first vineyards in the new civilization. We're introducing it into the United States, been very successful in that. We have a couple of different categories. Our Irani is our #1 seller, terrific, you're gonna love it. We also have a pomegranate wine that you won't find anywhere else. And now we've just introduced non-alcoholic wines, and people, it's off the charts. People are loving that. If you don't drink wine and you want to participate with everybody that does, ours tastes so good, people are really enjoying it. I recommend it. So if I were you, I would go right now to our website, franzesewine.com. It'll tell you where you can buy it. We're in 9 or 10 different states now, soon to blanket the entire country. I know you're going to enjoy it. So thank you all for supporting us, those of you that are enjoying it. We always say it's a sip you can't refuse, and I guarantee if you try it, you're going to see that I'm right. Endless foreign wars. I'm telling you this, Putin, Iran, China, they're foaming at the mouth to have a chance to have Kamala Harris on the other side of the table. She has proved to be incompetent. I'm not trying to demean the woman, but just look at the way she talks. She has no command of any situation whatsoever. She says she's going to fix the economy. She never even ran a Kool-Aid stand. How is she going to fix the economy? She has zero experience. It's like having a lawyer that that never even got to the bar, that failed it 6 times, represent you in court. She has no clue how to fix the economy. None. She has no clue how to deal in foreign affairs. She couldn't handle the border. And I'm telling you this, Kamala, this is directly to you. You said you were in charge of finding out the root causes of the problem at the border. Where's your report? What did you find out? What did you tell the American people? What did you find out? Nothing. She did nothing. She's a fraud. And she can't be trusted. And you can't put somebody in office that cannot be trusted. Now, again, Trump, he went bankrupt 7 times. I want to talk about what Trump did as president. People in business go bankrupt. It's a legal system that you have. So I don't want to hear that. What did he do as president that caused you to mistrust him? If you tell me, I'll respond to it. And if you're right, okay, I'll agree to it. I'm not going to try to cover for Trump. I don't cover for Trump. Not at all. I'll call him out when I think he's doing something wrong. As president, he was a great president. I'm sorry. And he'll be a great president again. And he had everybody against him. Remember that. He had Congress against him. Nancy Pelosi hated him. Schumer, they all hated him. He had an uphill battle, and he still got things done. Imagine if he has control. Oh, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to be Hitler. Give me a break with that. Please stop with those Democratic, progressive, Soros talking points. It's all garbage. It's all a lie. You can't trust these people. The line is in the sand. I'm ready to let it go. The last thing, I don't even know what to say about this, but this guy Waltz, I mean, we can go on and on and on about him. What a clown. The guy is an absolute clown. That's all I can say. I'm not going to get into it because I'm getting exhausted from expressing my emotion here, people, because this is serious in the next 2 weeks. It's very serious. I hope you vote with your mind. You don't let anybody to look and see. The evidence is so clear. Please, if you want a better America, if you want a better future for yourself, your family, your wife, your husband, your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, if you want a better America, if you want peace on the world stage, or at least somebody that can get us back in order, we have to undo these wars. We have to settle them and resolve them. We have to get our economy running again. We have to close our borders. We have to put food on the table in a better way for people so that credit card debt is at a record high right now. Do you understand that? People are really struggling, and Kamala Harris is not the answer. This is the mafia at work right now. The mafia is controlling your country. I'm telling you, the mafia is controlling. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't write the book. The mafia is controlling the country. They control the mainstream news media. They control it. That means there's propaganda. They control the Justice Department. They control all the government law enforcement agencies. They are empowered to go after their political enemies. We're seeing it with Trump and other Republicans that have gone down. This is the mafia. They make money off of your back. This is the mafia. They extort you for taxes. This is the mafia. Remember who put 87,000 more IRS agents in power. Biden administration. Remember who Kamala Harris said endorsed her. The IRS endorsed her. And she's going to use the full extent of her authority to get the IRS to come down on us more. Middle class. That's who they go after. Don't let anybody kid you. They're not going after. They claim, oh, you know, the billionaires have to pay their fair share. BS. BS. Soros is pulling. He's a billionaire. He's pulling strings. They're going to go after Soros? You know all the billionaires that support this party? You think they're really going to go after them? All they do is lie to you. Mistrust. We cannot trust them. We simply cannot trust them. And you can't put somebody in control of your lives that you can't trust. I think I said enough, people. You know, I just pray and hope, I really mean it. And all you Christians out there, you know, if you vote biblically and you vote with biblical authority and biblical principle, there's only one person to vote for, and not that he's perfect. Look, Jesus used a lot of imperfect people, you know, to get his job done. A lot of imperfect people. Remember that. Christians, you only have one choice here. One choice. Put abortion at the top of your list if you want to think that way. Put transgender surgery for minors on top of your list. Can you put somebody in office that is pro-abortion in the 9th month? That's pro-gender-affirming surgery and puberty blockers in minors? Can you put somebody in office that's all for LGBTQ? Think about it. That's all I'm telling you at this point. Think about it. That's it for today, people. How do I always leave you? Same way. Never going to change. Be safe. Please be safe. Let's pray that this country gets in order in that regard. Be healthy. I hope RFK gets in and tells us what's wrong with our food. A lot of stuff in the food that we're not going to, we have no idea what it's doing to our bodies. Hopefully it'll come to light. We get some stricter controls on that. Be safe. Be healthy. And yes, I mean this for each and every one of you and your families. God bless you all. God bless you all, and God bless your neighborhood, your communities. And yes, God bless America. Please, Lord, bless America. Yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.